everyone. Hello, welcome back, welcome back. Today I'd like to give a big shout out to Renard and Remy out there in Cameroon. All right, big shout out to them. They'll be studying graphic design and also full stack web development. And of course, make sure you continue to work on the actual left foot and right foot when you are playing football, because you want to be able to use those skills just as good as you can do. Whatever you can do with your right foot, make sure you can do it with your left. All right. Anyways, today's video, we will be going over, let's see here, looking down. Oh, of course, let's talk about actually setting up the actual work environment in order to actually work on some front-end development for today. So this is going to be relatively simple, but we want to be able to at least show you the actual code editor, Visual Studio Code, and of course setting up 3 files to actually work with. Later on in the series, we'll show you how to actually work with the actual backend files, okay? But today we're just going to actually open up 3 files and open up Visual Studio Code. All right, so without further ado, let's go on ahead and get started. I'll just close this out. Okay, and you can see on the screen there is pretty much nothing there at all. So what we're going to do is, you'll notice I have a directory on the desktop, and it is called, let's see here, programming files. All right, so what I'm going to do is open up Visual Studio Code, in which you can download that from, let's see, do I have that up and running here? I do not. Let's do a quick search for Visual Studio Code for the download. And let's see, this second one looks good. codevisualstudio.com. All right, and so depending on whatever system you have, you'll be able to actually download Visual Studio Code at this particular URL right here. That is code.visualstudio.com/download. All right, and we'll be able to place that in the description as well. So let's minimize that. Once you actually download that, we'll open it up right here. And what I'm going to do, this is the general start welcome screen. I'm going to close this, and let's just make sure I have programming files already open, but I want you to see what it looks like when you do it from scratch. Is you're going to go to open folder, and you're going to choose wherever the folder is that you're actually working with. I'm choosing programming files, and then I'm selecting that. Okay, and then what happens is Visual Studio is then going to have this actual workspace area available for you. So now what you can do is, and to actually create the new files, the only thing you're going to need to do is actually work with the new file button right here. All right, so let's create a file right within Visual Studio. All right, and I'm just going to call that index.html. All right, so that's one file. And you'll also notice that the file has opened up to the right. So there is a tab here, and that tab has my first file that I created, index.html. I'm going to then actually do, I'm not going to have any folders within this folder, but I am going to create 2 other files. We're going to call that our styles.css. Okay, so we have our HTML file, which is going to be for our markup, which is HTML. We then have our styles.css file, which is going to be for our cascading style sheets. And we're going to add one more file, which is going to be our JavaScript. So we'll just call that, script for now, script.js. All right, so we got 3 different files here. We have our JS file, which is JavaScript, our HTML for the hypertext markup language, and our CSS for the cascading style sheets. All right, and the other thing that I would also recommend is actually downloading an extension. So let's go down here, and here's our extensions tab. I'm going to click on that. I already have it installed, but what you're going to look for is live server. All right, and that number may change. This is live server 5.61. It may change depending on when you're watching this video. It might be, most likely it's going to be a different number or the same. So once you actually download that, let me just type it in again. It's live server. Okay, and because I have it installed, I don't see the install option here. So, but what you're going to want to do is on live server, you'll have install right here where this settings icon is, and you'll click install. Okay, all right. And now what you can do with that is once that live server is actually installed, which is going to pretty much allow you to not have to keep refreshing your browser for all the changes you make. So let me move this over here. I'm going to right click on the file and I'm going to click on open with live server. And that's going to now open up a browser. So that's perfect. And let's move it over here. And now that I have that, I'm going to close this Explorer window out. We all know that I have 3 files here. So let me close that. And actually, just to show you where those are, remember, we added these 3 files right here also within the programming file. So these are the same thing. So if I open this up, you'll see 3 files. There's your index, your script, and your styles folder, or actual files. Okay, so there's 3 files there, which actually lines up with the 3 files that we have here. Okay, and there's the name of our actual folder, programming files right there. So that's perfect. So we just want to make sure that all of that works out for us. All right, and now what we can do using Visual Studio Code, we can do, let's just put some bare bones markup here. So I'll put an exclamation mark and hit enter. That's going to give me some bare bones HTML. And so nothing special here. And there are some elements, which as far as the actual elements and learning those, you can continue on with the actual playlist within this channel. But let's add the 3 other files so we actually have something. So first, I'm just going to put a little heading here. And this is just so we can see something on the actual screen. And we'll just put adding files. Okay. And let's see, I will have to refresh it once. And then after that, if I change that, like if I just put adding something, and you'll see that actual text to the left. So now we know that the actual live server itself is actually working. Okay, and what we can do here is add our 2 other files. So let's do that. Let's add our style sheet. So I'll type in link, L-I-N-K, and tab or enter. All right, and now I can put the actual name of the styles folder or the actual styles file. All right, it actually comes up already, so I'll just press tab. So now our styles actual file is actually linked with the HTML, and we can test that right now. If I move this down a little bit, and what we can do is let's click on the actual styles file, and I'll right click, and I'm going to split that to the right, and then I'll just close it here. All right, so now I can see my HTML to the left and my styles to the right, in which I'll create a quick rule. I'll just use the body. All right, and if this looks like gibberish to you, don't worry. It's actually covered in the actual CSS portions of the actual channel, so you can click on my CSS fundamentals playlist. I'm going to turn the background color to, let's go with blue. All right, that's a nasty blue, so let's go with teal. All right, that's a little softer on the eyes. And let's also, for the H1 that we have there, let's make the color of that white. Okay, so now we definitely know that our HTML is working, our style sheet is working. Let's move our JavaScript down to the bottom. We'll close this out here. And let's add an actual script. We do need to actually add it in here as well. Normally, you're going to add your script files to the bottom of the page. And the reason for that is so the HTML can actually load before the actual JavaScript runs. So we want the HTML to run before that. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add it right here. Okay, all right, script with the closing script tag. Go in here, put the actual source as to where the actual script.js file is, press tab or enter on that, and I'm going to put defer there as well. So that's actually going to make it seem as if this script tag is at the bottom of the actual HTML. So basically what that defer means is it's basically going to say, hey, make sure the HTML actually runs before the actual script does. Okay. And so I can close this style so we can see that a little bit better. There's our markup at the top. Our JavaScript is right below, and I already closed the actual style sheet. So now from here, let's put in a quick little a little bit of programming here just to make sure that our script works. So let's see, what can we do? We can do I guess we can do a quick alert, and we'll just say hi there. All right, and so now we have a nice little pop-up. Perfect. So there's our hi there, so that works. So now we have our JavaScript file, which is below. We have our CSS file, which is right here. Actually, I'll just split it to the right so you can see it a little better. Close it there. So JavaScript on the lower left, styles on the lower right, and our actual HTML right up above. And of course, obviously, you can always use any particular editor that you would want. But for the bulk of the actual series, I do use Visual Studio Code. And let me know in the comments if there's something that you want to actually work with, but this one works out pretty well. All right, so that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to let you guys take a look at that, see how we can actually set up 3 different files, have them all working together, and make sure we add that live extension to Visual Studio Code for us to actually begin this web development session. Okay, other than that, subscribe to the channel, comment if you would like, reach out to me, and I can definitely assist you with any issues that you may have. And that's it for today. Full Stack out.